Daniela, how are you?
Oh, good, and you?
Good. So, we're at Casa Mezcal, the 86 Orchard Street Gallery, and I'm really excited because we're gonna have your work like shared with everybody, and I think you can see one of the pieces on the video. Say hi, everybody. So can you tell me just like for one thing is, where's the origin of how you found the idea to do these mandalas with the weaving?
Yeah. Well, it's originally from the ojos de Dios, which are a symbol from the Huirrárica culture in Jalisco, Mexico. And the ojos de Dios, it's like the simple pattern or symbol before the mandalas.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's like the source of it.
Yes, and actually my brand, Caure.
Mm-hmm.
Caure, it means. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. That's good. So you're finding yourself in your work.
Yeah. So it means an offer of thread or yarn to the gods. So.
What's that word?
Caure.
Okay.
It's spelled C-A-E-X-E.
So you're telling me that this work is actually an offering?
Yeah. It's like a piece of yarn that it's offered to the gods so we can have success on the procedure.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. What made you feel worthy to be able to make an offering to the gods with the threads? Like what chose? How did you choose yourself for this?
I think it's not like to choose.
It chose you?
I don't know either, because I have always been fascinated for the Huirrárica art.
Yeah.
The Huirrárica is more known as huichol. So they work a lot with beading, with yarn, and it has always caught like my attention.
Is that actively practiced in like a lot of people in Mexico and in South America and Central America? Do they actively practice that to this day, like regularly?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, in the store I used to have, I was working with, like, she was the one who teach me like
You had a
like
mentor?
the techniques. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she taught me the beading technique and the yarn painting technique.
Wow.
Yes.
So you paint your own yarn?
Yeah, like that one from there,
Mhm.
and this one it's with yarn painting.
So do you dye the yarns?
No. It's used bee wax
Yes.
as a glue,
Yeah.
and you make like a transfer from the image you want to
Wow.
the wax, and then you start to paint with like really thin threads of yarn.
Wow.
Yes, so she was the one who taught me that.
What was like when you first made one of these, and you looked at it? Did you just like, oh my god, I made this? How was that feeling like to like make one of these the first time? You're like, oh my god, this came from me.
Yes, so during the pandemic, I went to graduate making one size of these pieces.
Yeah.
But with the beading work, which is, I think it's more difficult than the yarn painting for
Okay.
sure, because it's one by one.
Yeah.
So, Angela is the name of the artisan. Like, we were very close, because I also used to promote her work in my store, the one I used to have.
Yeah.
So, I started to make like this big one. It was like the first big piece I was making, mixing that technique, beading and the weaving.
Wow.
So when I finished, like, it took me a long, like, I was so lost and I was blocked, and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. But then I was like, okay, I have to finish. So when I was done, she was the first one I wanted to show, because
Yeah.
I don't know if it was going to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
If someone like me, like she called me white.
Oh, no way.
Yes. Yes. But like not disrespectful or anything. It was
So
like
I am
more
like really curious. How does she take it?
So I bring her and her husband too, and I show them the finished piece, and they were like shocked, like how could I do something like that? Because they took it well, they loved it, and
Oh.
like they told me like I have never seen something like this. And I told her like most her than her husband, because I
Yeah.
have the relation with
With her.
Yeah. That like I don't know if I'm being disrespectful or it's like a plagium
Yeah.
of your culture, but I just want to say that it's like a tribute to it. And they told me that they have like I have their blessing, because it's a way to show where they come from and the beautiful art they make.
So really, also you're showing the effect they had on you. It really validates who they are. That their culture can go outside the realm of their community, and then goes so deeply and passionately inside of you that
Yes.
you want to share this. You
Yes.
know, that's if that's not a beautiful honor to them. I
Yeah,
hope.
I feel very blessed actually. I felt like really happy that they didn't took it like in a bad way.
Yeah.
And instead of looking at like a bad way, oh the white one she made something that it's only for like from our culture.
Yeah.
It was like, this is amazing, thank you for doing it. If you can show it to the world.
Where is that piece?
It's in León, in Mexico. Yes.
Who has? Please don't tell me it's in a closet.
No, it was a trade for this tattoo.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
That's functional art. No, seriously, like you took, like, oh my goodness, dude, that's so good, man. Rock and roll, dude.
Yes.
That's rock and roll. All right, and now you got this will always remind you of your first piece. This
Yes.
is seriously from the sale of your first piece, or the trade of your first piece.
Yeah, it was
Not your
than a
second
trade.
piece or third. It's your first piece.
Yeah, it was the first one. Yeah.
Do you realize how much effect that one piece had in your life?
Yeah.
Now think about it this way. It had so much effect on your life that it's on your arm permanently. Right? Like, it's like stained into your skin, man.
Yeah, more because my tattoo artist, he also makes like this kind of radical or ritual art on tattoos.
Okay.
And when he saw the stuff I was doing, he was like, oh, like I really like it. And I was like, I really like your work, so I think we can do something about
I
it.
want you to make one of these of my mandalas. Because I make mandalas too.
Yeah.
But not like this. I take photographs.
Yeah.
And with the photographs, I mix them up so that they come into like a mandala shape. And see, I wish that everybody can come here and look at this work, because when you see it like on the video, or if you see it on the screen, it's two-dimensional. But when you see it in a three-dimensional light,
Yeah, it's
and you see
very
how it
different.
comes out and the whole relief of it, it's you know, it almost makes you emotional, you know, and that's really, really cool. So we're gonna have your opening. We're gonna do a short viewing of your work, and it's pretty much by invite only, and so it's pretty exclusive. And the opening is this Wednesday, and it's gonna be at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, from 6 to
6
9.
o'clock to like 9, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna have it here at the 86 Orchard Gallery, and which is actually put together by Casa Mezcal, who they had this space and they really wanted to make sure that the community benefits from like their tradition, which the Lower East Side has always been tied to art and exploration and creativity, and now you're a part of that. And we're gonna have your closing, I believe, on the 21st,
Yes.
which is Saturday.
Yeah.
And what time is that gonna be?
I still don't know.
Okay. Well, this is like a fast thing. We don't always get available. We don't always get access to an artist such as yourself in such a short amount of time. And so this is incredible. And I know we're going to do a full exhibition with you in the future too. But anybody who wants to see this work, it's at 86 Orchard Street, which is in the Lower East Side in New York City. And it's going to be the opening on Wednesday the 11th, right? The 11th?
Yes.
And it's going to be from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. I helped curate it, put the work up, and I'm also working with you to get your mission out there, let people know who you are. And come on down. It's a beautiful space and beautiful work. To close with this, right? This little mini interview. Do you think there's a lesson in this work? Because it's very tribal, like you said, and it comes from that community where you were the outside person who was embraced. They embraced you when you made your first piece. So you learned. I think you learned to be humble, like a humility. Like oh my God, I thought you were going to yell at me. You know what I mean? And like you accepted my work. That has to be very humbling. So that's a lesson for you. When someone sees work like this, is there a lesson here? Is there something that someone can take away from not just looking at beautiful yarn and beautiful mandalas?
Yeah.
What are they really looking at, especially when it comes to who you are on a tribal level and on a spiritual level?
Yeah, well, it can be like two ways, because when I started to expose the first and the second piece,
Yeah.
like some people were like amazed, like I really love it, it's a beautiful work. On the other side, I had people saying, that's a plagium, you're copying, you're disrespecting the community. So for me, only having the validation and the blessing from Angela, the artisan, like I don't care if people think that, oh, like you're an outside people, like how can you do this? So the lesson is just to appreciate the art, how it is, because even though, like, I don't know how to say it, like there are a lot of divisions because of the race,
Yeah.
because of flag or something like that. But I think art can just unite like a lot of people, to see different perspectives about ideas, cultures.
Are you
like-
familiar with the English word primal?
No.
So primal, like it's getting to the source, the raw origins. It's like anger could be a primal emotion. Love is a primal emotion. People taking their colors of their ancestry. It's very, very primal. It's like the base, right? It's like if you took all of you and you put it into a soup and you boiled it down, that inside of you, that's your primal self, right? Your most remedial. Take all the refinement away, all the education, take away all of the learning, right? And you strip it to its core. That's the primal part. And what I'm getting from you is that, because this is something that weighs on you about, I don't want to be plagiarizing, right?
Yeah.
But what you did was that you showed conviction. You had faith and courage and in yourself, that what you learned from Angela, what you learned from her wasn't just how to make something, but you learned like her emotions. You learned what it meant for her to make this work, and now for you to make it. So what you're doing is you're not plagiarizing, you're transcribing, you're taking their work and you're doing your own to show people how beautiful that this culture is, and how much of an immense effect that their primal characteristics, what made them, what it has on you. I think that it's the greatest form of endearment. It's the greatest honor to say, I'm not doing this because I just think it's pretty. I'm doing this because I have no choice. What you showed me is like you opened my eyes. You opened my third eye. You opened a part of me that I want to share this. And I think that's beautiful. I think you truly, truly honor her. And I hope that the people who come and see your exhibition, beyond being a part of your work, they'll go and look up the original culture and learn about them and see where they need support, where they need to have their message continue and go on. And because for something to live, for something to never disappear, it always has to be remembered, right?
Yes.
To remember, it's just like your culture is Mexican, right?
Yeah.
Like the Day of the Dead, or the when your ancestors pass on, they're always alive as long as you think about them. The impact they have on you, because all the lessons that we learn gets brought forward, which brings me to the question I asked you, like what lessons will people take from this? It's not just a lesson like, oh, do this, do that.
Yeah.
It's what manifested itself inside of you. What will they bring? Will they bring that culture into their lives and look at a book or they'll watch something on it? I want to thank you so much for sharing this with us. And I'm excited for Wednesday, man.
Yeah, I'm very excited too.
Anything else you want to say to everybody before we...
Well, I hope to see you here on Wednesday at 6 p.m. It's going to be a short exhibition, so I hope you can be there.
Yeah, and the closing will be on the 11th, and I'll have more details for that. So if you can't make it in 3 days, we'll get you 10 days later,
Yeah.
right? So this is amazing. I know it was a long interview, but you know what? People have nothing to do. They're going to watch it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. See you on Wednesday and then the following Saturday.